Hello and welcome to Home with Sarah Jane. In today's video, I wanted to share a real quick homeschool update. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Sarah and I'm a homeschooling mom to two girls, ages 11 and 14. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by once again. I do really appreciate you. So today's video is all about an update, for what's been going on in our homeschool, a little bit of a life update. I also wanted to talk about some of the changes we've made in our homeschool because there have been changes. There have been many changes. But I also wanted to throw in a little bit of positivity as well by kind of sharing my kids' favorite curriculum that they've been using this year as well. So it's just kind of like a little update on how everything's been going. Now, I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible because I'm a rambler. So let's just jump right into how it's been going. Guys, not great. It has not been great. It's going fine, but we started off really bumpy. So I kind of explained in another video that the day before we were supposed to start our new homeschool year, my dog had a medical emergency. He's doing fine, but I should have postponed school and I didn't. And although the first day of school was still a good day, it was clouded and by worry and stress for the dog. So I really should have postponed it, even if it was only by a couple of days, and I didn't do that. So that was my bad, but that's what happened. That was the reality of it. So I did learn from my mistake later in September when more stuff came up, I guess you can say. But as we continued to homeschool through it, things were going really great for the first few weeks in our homeschool. We were really excited about everything. And then we hit a wall. We hit a wall about 2 to 3 weeks into our homeschool year, and it was a really, really tall wall. So it was really challenging getting over that wall, but we did, and we are coming out better. So we had a lot of unexpected health and medical things come up within our family for a couple of people. I'm not going to go into the details on that. Just know that everybody's doing okay, and some of these things we're still trying to figure out, but so far things are looking good. We're just trying to figure out what's going on there. But I don't want to share anybody else's personal information on here, so that's why I'm not going to go into major detail. But it was a lot of doctor's appointments. It was a lot of, going in for lab work, a lot of checkups, a lot of, driving to specialists and stuff like that. So it took a lot out of our family, a lot. And obviously it's nobody's fault. These things happen. I actually feel extremely blessed and lucky to be homeschooling my children so that when these things do come up, I can be with my children, I can be with my husband, and we can be and deal with these things as a family. I'm not worried about my kids missing school because I'm in control of that, So when things started to get really stressful, I just took an unexpected week off. Like, we did not plan it. We were planning on taking a week off in October, but I decided to just cancel that vacation, that week off, and use that time in September because we all needed it. We were so stressed out. There was too much going on, and I just threw in the towel and I said, you know what, you guys, we're off next week. It was such a relief to just throw in the towel. I know that sounds awful, but it was just such a relief to just throw in the towel and say, you know what, enough is enough. There's too much on our plate and we need to stop. And we feel so much better now that we just kind of froze time. I guess because we just kind of froze our homeschool. So that was much needed. But I've never taken a break in our homeschool year so early. Like, we usually don't break until October, and we took a break like the first week into second week of September. We've never done that. I mean, we started school at the beginning of August, like a week into August, and we took a break like a month after we started school. But again, it was needed, and that's the beauty of homeschool. We have the power to do that, and it was truly a blessing because we all needed it. Now that things have calmed down, I really wanted to kind of talk about how I adjusted our day, because I was realizing when I took that week break that it wasn't just the stresses of life, of going to the doctor, of things like that, that were kind of messing with our homeschool day. It was also, there were some of the curriculum just didn't fit, and my kids' days were extremely long. and we even tried to adjust the time that we get up and start homeschool to like try and help that out. We even cut back certain things in the morning during our morning time to try and give a little bit more time to the day. None of that was working. So a lot of adjustments had to happen. During that week we took off, I ended up, researching new curriculum, picking a different curriculum for my oldest daughter's biology. It was just a lot. So a lot was going on, but I was still pretty much trying to get our homeschool in order when we took that week off. And it was, again, much needed. Now, if you missed my, curriculum videos, I will link those below if you want to see everything that we're doing. I just kind of wanted to share how it's going right now. Now, for my youngest, her favorite curriculum is actually one of the changes that we made, but she is loving Add the Wonder nature curriculum. We are using this for science. Her favorite unit has been the mushroom unit. We haven't done owls yet. This is our next one. But this is something that we changed for her. So going into the year, I was just going to redo some of the Good and the Beautiful unit studies, which we do still plan on doing. But when I stumbled across this, I decided to change up her science, and she is absolutely loving this. These are only like 2-week long unit studies, and there's a whole bunch that you can choose from. I do have a flip through video on this curriculum, and I kind of gave my thoughts and opinions, what I liked about it, what I didn't. But overall, this has been a fantastic curriculum for my youngest daughter, and she's really loving that it's like small unit studies. So she has so much variety. She's learning new things constantly. It gets her to go outside more. We get to dive deeper on so many things that she's interested in instead of being stuck for, a few months in a unit study. It's only a few weeks. Usually we're taking about 3 to 4 weeks to complete this, even though like it's scheduled for like a 2-week period. So we made some changes there, but she's absolutely loving this. And this was one of the changes that we made. So yeah, super cute. And it's kind of like a little bit of a workbook style. So, that's not typically something that we go for. We're not really workbook and worksheet. We're not like a worksheet family. But this doesn't feel that way. And we're absolutely loving it. It's been a lot of fun. Now, the next thing that I changed is my oldest daughter's science curriculum. We were using Dive Biology for her. And it was something that when I was looking into this, it looked like a really great fit for her. She's always been really strong when it came to science. She loves biology just in general. And I thought that it was going to be a really great fit for her. This was one of the courses that completely stressed her out. This was one of the things, and I'm not saying that in like a negative way to the curriculum. It just wasn't a good fit for Bella. It's actually a really thorough and intense course, but for her, it just was not a good fit. And I realized that I needed to do something when, for one, it was taking her way too long to complete the lessons in here or in Dive. And another thing is that when I heard her talking about science in a negative way, I realized that her look at science was starting to be, negative because she was not enjoying the course. It was just way too much for her. So during that week break that I took randomly, I found Friendly Biology. Now, this is a much gentler approach. She's not far into this, so she can't give her full-on opinion or anything yet. But so far, this looks like a much better fit for Bella. And also, it's shortened up her day quite a bit. So in this one, you have the textbook, and it's supposed to be a pretty gentle approach to biology. This is the textbook. It is in color. It is very friendly, as you can see. It's nothing too overwhelming, but you have the textbook, and then there is the student workbook. Now, the student workbook is in black and white, but that's, this is just like worksheets, and stuff like that. So it's not a big deal that it's in black and white to us. And then we also have the lesson test and answer keys, again in black and white, but again, not a big deal. So there's these 3 components that we have, but then there's also a video component that your student watches. And she even said just watching Friendly Biology's videos was already just a breath of fresh air for her. She said that she understood what they were saying more in the Friendly Biology videos than she did in the other curriculum that we were using. And again, a lot of this change was needed because of the time it was taking her to complete Dive Biology. It was just too much. Now, if you've seen my past videos, you'd know that we did buy like the big like science experiment kits and and labs and all of that, like the supplies for those for dive biology. We still plan on doing the dissections and all of that using those supplies. Because we already paid for dive biology, we will take a couple of lessons here and there when it comes to those things that kind of align with what she's learning in friendly biology. So that's not going to go to waste. We're still going to use it. We're just going to kind of, you know, intertwine the two curriculums into working for us. Again, another great thing about homeschool. Her favorite curriculum this year has been The Good and the Beautiful's High School Year 1. She is absolutely loving this course. She loves the way that it's set up. She loves the freedom behind it. She loves that she has more control over it. She did say that the story that she was reading is just okay, but she really loves like what she's doing here. This is one, I think, yeah, she's working on unit 2 right now. I think that's what this one is. But in this one, she was able to, or no, she finished this one, but she was able to do like a slideshow. She, you know, had a writing assignment. She had a whole bunch of, as you can see, this is some of the work that she was doing. But, you know, she's working on vocabulary. I mean, she does art in here. You can see here some of the art. But she is absolutely loving this course. She said it's her favorite course this year, and it's something that she only does for about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how much she can get done, but she's absolutely loving it. And again, her favorite course this year so far. So those are the two main curriculum changes. Now let's kind of go over the saddest of the changes for me, and that is, I don't think I'm going to be able to have morning time the way that I wanted to this year. We made a lot of changes to even make morning time try and work for us this year. I cut things out. I, you know, switched up days that we did certain things. You know, I looped through books. None of it was working. Now, the worst part of me having to admit that morning time is kind of dwindling and fizzling out is that we were enjoying it. We were absolutely loving everything that we were doing in morning time. It's just we don't have the time. And that hurts my heart. I'm not giving up on morning time. I am not throwing in the towel. I just have to make even more adjustments. Like our morning time was taking about an hour to an hour and a half. We don't have that with my daughter's high school workload anymore. Again, we even tried to adjust the time that we woke up to try and help with this as well. And none of that was working. So I've made some major adjustments to the way we're doing morning time. So instead of doing all of the American history stuff, we're just going to be focusing on read aloud and a poem each day in our morning time. So it's going to cut it back significantly. So instead of morning time lasting an hour to an hour and a half, it's now only lasting about 30 minutes. And that has been working out so much better, as much as it hurts my heart to admit that. It has been working out so much better by just spending a half hour together in the morning, doing read out loud, having a little bit of discussion, and doing one poem from our poetry book. Again, it's not my ideal morning time, but I have to think about what's best for our homeschool overall, and this is what's best for our homeschool right now. Now, the good news about morning time, though, is that my kids have a little bit more time on Friday, so we're able to fit some American history in on Friday. So those things that they were really enjoying, the things that I was really enjoying, Monday through Thursday, we're able to move some of that to Friday. So Friday is going to look different as well, but we are still going to have watercolor, we're still going to have music, but then we're going to learn about American history. So we're going to be able to finish out the military unit from Campfire curriculum that my kids have been absolutely loving. We're just going to take it in a much slower pace. And also, we've been absolutely loving these two books in our morning time, and my kids did not want to cut them out. And again, it goes along with American history, but it is Book of Great American Speeches for Young People. This has been so much fun. My kids have been absolutely loving learning the speeches, hearing the speeches, the inspiration behind it, why these speeches were even needed. Like just it brings so much great conversation. And this didn't really take all that long. Like this maybe takes 5 to 10 minutes. So this is definitely something that we could keep in our morning time, but we're just going to keep it in on Fridays. Now, the next thing that we're going to be keeping in on Fridays is Keys to American History, Understanding Our Most Important Historic Documents. This is another one that my kids were absolutely loving. So this is an extremely frustrating book for my kids to read, but they absolutely love reading it. They love hearing about the documents, how ridiculous some of them were. They like hearing about some of them being great. It's just, I do want to say that this can be a little challenging for my youngest daughter at times, because the terminology and vocabulary is, well, it would be considered outdated now. So she doesn't always understand what they're saying. So we do sometimes go into a little bit more detail in conversation so that she can understand what they're actually trying to say in this document. But this is something that they're absolutely loving as well. So we will be doing this on Friday as well. So those are the main changes that we've made to our homeschool. Again, morning time is going to be very, very short, half-hour chunks in the morning, and that's it. On Friday, it will be a little bit longer. It'll probably last about an hour, but that's because we are still going to be doing music. We are still going to be doing watercolor. But again, my kids have much more time on Friday. So I'm very, very happy that I'm still able to focus on some American history, even if it is only once a week. So that is the update for today. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments section. Let me know how your homeschool is going. I'd love to hear it, but let me know how all of that's going, whether you started homeschool or not, whether it's been great or not. Again, some years just start out fantastic and everything is wonderful, and some years don't, and there's bumps. And you know what? We make adjustments as homeschool parents and we make it work for us. And honestly, it's the best decision I've ever made, is to homeschool my kids. So again, let me know how everything's going in the comments section. Thank you so much for stopping by. You have a great day. Bye.